For earthquake, these are the preparations required. Attend orientations and training about emergency preparedness. Familiarize yourself with exit. Stockpile emergency equipment. Mabisa na matamat lang. Okay? Check all emergency lights are operational. Clear all exit routes, obstructions. So remember, no? During one of our fire drills, no? We're surprised why we cannot open the door, no? Sa Piak Kalinga side, sa other side, no? There are tables, no? Obstructing the door. No? Ensure all emergency vehicles are ready. Ensure that portable communication sets are operational. Portable communication sets, you have your cell phone, etc. Establish assemble area and do head counts. Then conduct drills, and more drills. Okay, by conducting several drills, we will be very prepared if an incident arises or a disaster arises. Okay, remember, prevention is the best medicine, but preparedness is the key to survival. Okay. 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 Dua na lang ka topic, no? You have typhoon preparedness. Okay, actually dasig lang, no? For typhoon preparedness, why naman tamimimo? Di, di ba? We cannot do anything, no? We just wait for the typhoon, then expect the impact will not hit us that hard. Alright? Okay, so regularly monitor your radio and television for calamity news and updates. Prepare for enough candles, rechargeable lamps, and flashlights for possible brownouts. If you have, no, if you have a generator, no, prepare for fuels. Okay. So I remember no, we have the last typhoon here, no. Mapandar lang kami generator, no. Kung magtigang na, right? Then we charge our communication equipment. Then patyo naman namon because medyo mahal man ang fuel sa Bongga, right? So if you reside in an area with river, waterways, or mountainsides, immediately evacuate to prevent flash floods and landslide. May idang balay nyo. Mas importante yung kabuhay nyo, no? Compare sa mga pagkabutang nyo, di ba? Store enough food, water, and first aid kit. Again, go bag, no? Prepare a list of emergency hotlines. Okay, so these are the things that you need to do to prepare for typhoon. Okay, then pray, no? Hindi na ta may go taman, di ba? So far Nilo, no? In Iloilo City, that's what I'm saying, no? Duway man ta gid sila nga daw grabe gid, no? Ang epekto sa bagyo sa aton di, no? Last, lastly, we have pandemic preparedness plan. This is really, really very new, no, not only in the Philippines but in the entire world. No, this pandemic, no. Okay, this preparedness plan, no, it's not really for residential, but this is more or less on this is more or less for business continuity or business establishment or schools. No, we have to develop a plan for business pandemic preparedness. Have a checklist on critical element of a business continuity plan, essential operations, supply chain, manpower, and financial. Just to give you an idea, no, during the pandemic, we're the only industry. I am referring to my other work, no, where the only industry will still continue to operate, no, that is the BPO industry or the call center industry. All right. So we made several business continuity plan, no. We make we have our employees work from home. We provided them with computers and dongles for internet connections. Okay. There are several employees who were housed in a hotel, libre tanan pagkaon, libre, no, tanan nga um, transportation. Tapos may allowance pa. Okay? We have medical precautions and informations. We have workplace hygiene, personal hygiene, workplace restriction, and protective gear. So during the incident, no, our company gave several face shield for free, several masks for free, etc. Okay, medical precautions. Okay, we also observe every hour disinfections in the entire building. We have policies for exposed employees. What are the policy, no? So we have this contact tracing, no? Kung may exposed employee, paano ginaobrang contact tracing? So these are several preparedness, okay? And communications, no? So this is the only thing that we can prepare now, no, in case of another pandemic. Okay? To give you an idea of a mode of transmission of pandemic, no, we have direct and indirect virus, no? Okay, direct and indirect, no? For direct, we have direct contact. For direct contact, no? Muna siya yung direct contact with other persons, no? By touching, right? Or um, direkta mo ginakaptan. Okay, that's a direct contact. The second direct is under direct is droplet spread or transmission. This is occurs in a close contact within 1 meter of a person. Okay, that's why no one of the things that we did no to make sure that this um, pandemic or COVID will not infect everyone is to have social distancing at least 1 meter. Okay, but in the recent study, they learned that pandemic could be airborne. That's why they removed the barriers, di ba? Airborne, which means it can travel, no? Because it's very, very small. It can remain in air for long periods of time and be transmitted for over distances greater than 1 meter. No? That's why ang policies ng CDC is dapat 6 feet or 2 meters ang social distancing. Right? Ang DOH siya, WHO, 1 meter, no? Ang ilang social distancing. Okay? Vehicle borne, mechanical or biological. When you say vehicle borne, no? Yung nasakyan, right? For vehicle borne, okay? Um, it could be transmitted, no? Uh, to things or other living things. Example, it could be transmitted to um, clothes, okay? Toys, medical instrument, etc. Okay? Ang nakaptan niya or natsiyan niya, pag nakaptan mo, na pwede ka mahawa. Diba? So, for biological, it can be transmitted through blood, serum, plasma, tissues, organs, etc. So, we call that vehicle-borne, no, biological. For vector-borne, these are the diseases that result from an infection to humans and other animals by blood feeding arthropods such as mosquitoes, okay? Ticks and fleas. Okay, example of these diseases, no? Dengue, fever, malaria, etc. Okay, so these are the modes of transmission of diseases. Okay, hand hygiene. Okay, this is the things that we did to make sure that um, we will not get any COVID, no? But bisan na mukadong may aragin, diba? So we have hand hygiene, then physical distancing. Okay, this is the hierarchy of COVID controls. Amo ni ginobrata, no? The first and the most effective dapat yung ginobrata is elimination. But why ta maobra? Hindi ta maobra. No, why ta ma-eliminate ang COVID? That's why. Okay? For elimination, this includes social isolations, stay-at-home orders, quarantine, and restrictions. The second one is substitution. For substitution, this will include our vaccines, remote work, or distance learning or online classes. No? For engineering controls, that will be your hand washing and surface cleaning. That will also include barriers, partitions, etc. For administrative controls, keeping 6 feet or social distancing, restricting indoors or shopping in dining, reduction in the workers. So dapat 50% lang, no? Ang maobra sa isang opisina. And lastly, which is the least effective, that is PPE or the mask, respirators, face shield. Okay? Kung makita nyo, this is the supposedly hierarchy of controls, not only in COVID, but all the pandemic. Dapat i-eliminate kung hindi masarangan, substitute. If you cannot substitute, engineering controls, administrative, and the last one is PPE. Okay? Di ta kailangan PPE kung na-eliminate na, no? Ang aton nga pandemic. We also have environmental hygiene to give you an idea. Okay? You can use your bleach as a disinfecting materials. Okay? Ang 100 ml of bleach, you can mix that with the 100 ml of water. Then that will serve as your disinfecting materials. Okay? Or if you're using a granules, then you have to use 1 tablespoon, then 2 liters of water. Of course, depende ka anong need mo. Because after 24 hours, hindi mo na magamit. Okay? So we'll reduce depending on your requirement. Alright? So you can use that, no? In disinfection. Mahal man ang alcohol, di ba? Kapit pa in the midst of the pandemic, na ubusan alcohol, you can use bleach as disinfecting materials. Okay, how to prevent panic? First is prayer. Okay, okay. Remember, no, when we had our pandemic, we have our COVID. The first thing that we felt after we learned of the result that we are COVID positive is we panic. Okay, what should we do to survive this? Are we going to die? How can I take care of my 7-year-old son? No? Huwag na, ang asawa ko, no? When we had the pandemic, no? How can I take care of my 7-year-old son? No? Mother will always be mother. No? So, amo na ginapanundom niya. So, the first thing that hit us is panic. Okay? So, panahon na mga no? First one is prayer. Second one is provide assurance. Exert leadership. Reassure the family group by giving instructions and information calmly. Assure everyone that you will overcome this. So several of my friends, especially those who are working abroad and in the medical field, assured me that everything will be okay. No, you have to drink these vitamins. Um, One of my friends even assured me, that they will take care of our groceries and our medicines, for COVID. Okay, so it's very very important that you reach out to relatives and friends to help you overcome, panic. Okay. Next, eliminate unrest, dispel rumors, identify troublemakers, and prevent them from spreading discontent and fear. Don't heed everything from the social media. Hindi tanan insakto. Okay? Should only listen. No? Should pick kung anong dapat yung insakto. Kapin pa sa kita niyo sa buong ng bisan sa buong. No? There are several persons are really still very hesitant with the COVID vaccine. Okay? That's a lack of proper information. Okay? Then demonstrate decisiveness, suggest positive actions, indicate what to do rather than what not to do. Okay, so when we had our COVID, after several days that we're on the recovery, so told my family, that we should do exercise, we should practice deep breathing, we should drink our medicine on time, etc. Okay, so that's the only thing that we can do to prevent panic. Okay, now I only have 4 slides, no? Kita lang. Okay. We have here perception of disasters. Okay. So a study was made for Filipinos' perception of strategy, resiliency, and coping up with disasters by Maria Silina Ang and Lily Diaz of Bicol University. You will be very, very amazed by the answers from the respondent because it will give you a glimpse on how Filipinos use life after facing stressful experiences. Okay, where does this resiliency came from, and what are the strategies in coping with such events which other people could adapt in times of painful and hurtful situations? So maybe other people from other country who can learn a thing or two from our resiliency. Okay, why do we need to know the factors behind a person's resiliency? Because a person's resilience and strategies and the individual perceptions of such situations are three of the most important tools which should keep us individual going and project a positive outlook in life. Okay, check this out. Okay, first is perception of disaster. No, how do Filipinos look at disaster? No, okay, so these are the top respondent. Okay, okay, so one is, sabi na, ang kalamidad ay nangyayari dahil na rin sa mga taong irresponsable at walang pakialam sa paligid at kalikasan. That's consequence of human actions. Nagkakaroon tayo ng bagyo dahil na rin sa patuloy na pagkasira ng kapaligiran o kalikasan tulad ng pagpuputol ng puno, mining at pagsisiga. Okay? That's also a consequence of human actions. Ang kalamidad ay isang natural na pangyayari, hindi natin maiwasan, ngunit ang epekto nito ay malilimitahan kung ang lahat ng tao ay magiging handa at magtutulungan. That's frequent life experiences, experiences, okay? That is already happening every year. So people are get used to it. All right? The last one is natural lang ang pagkakaroon ng ganitong kalamidad. Ang hindi nga lang normal ay kung gaano parang hindi naman tayo natututo sa mga ito. Paulit-ulit lang yung ginagawa nating preparations and precautions. Okay? So disasters, of course, natural phenomena but acquire major meanings when are socially constructed by the people who experience this. Makikita nyo, although it's a natural phenomenon, earthquake, etc. But people perceive this as consequence of human actions, natural lang na nangyari or frequent life experiences, and every day or every year ganito nangyayari sa atin, so we have to accept it. Diba? Then how did they cope up? How they are very resilient. I mean, say resilience. Okay, these are the ability to recover and regain readily one's form or particular state, to rise from the rubble or recover without interventions. Okay, tignan natin po. No? Sagot ng kababayan natin. Okay, palagi how are we Filipino very resilient? The first answer is, palagi akong nananalangin para malampasan naming pamilyang pagsubok. Kaya nakakaramdam ako ng kaginawaan pagkatapos. That's faith-based resiliency. Okay? The second one is, pinagkatiwala namin sa Panginoon ang mga nangyayari. That's also a faith-based resiliency. Ngunit sa kabila ng mga sakunang ito, nananatili ako nakangiti at matatag dahil sa aking pamilya. Lagi kong iniisip na napakasarap mabuhay kasama ang aking mga mahal sa buhay. That's familial support. Pinagkukwentuhan naming mga nangyayari, halimbawa, ginagawa naming katatawanan yung mga lumalangoy sa tubig baha. Filipino has a sense of humor. We have a lot of sense of humor. No? You can see people, no? Even at the midst of the typhoon, kids swimming, no? Sa mga baha. Diba? The next one is, umaasa kami na masisilayan muli ang sikat ng araw. Mula sa kalagitnaan ang nagpapatatag sa amin tuwing may kalamidad. That's positivity. We have a very positive outlook in life. Next is, kahit na may ganitong at nagtutubay niyan spirit. That's inherent to our Filipinos. No? And thus is, ang mga Pilipino ay marunong makiayon sa anumang bagay. Tao man ito, pangyayari o unos. So very, very also flexible at the same time. Okay? So this finding shows that Filipino resiliency is culturally based on value of deep spirituality. Okay? Deep spirituality, strong family ties, and a good disposition in life. Or how do we perceive things as positive? Okay? So this only proves that as Filipino, we're really one of the happiest people in the world. Diba? It's really very, very hard to be resilient if you're not happy. Okay? But how Pinoy copes up with these disasters? Okay? The first answer is, Diyos na lang naming lahat. Pinapasa Diyos na lang naming lahat. Iniisip namin na hindi naman kami pababayaan. Okay? The second is, naniniwala kami na matatapos din ang lahat ng problemang ito. Ang mahalaga, magkakasama kami. Nag-uusap kaming magkakapitbahay upang patatagin ang loob ng bawat isa. Okay? Kailangan natin maging selfless, matutong magsakripisyo at i-develop ang sense of nationalism para maging solid tayo. Magkaroon ng isang adhikain na tulungan ang mga kapatid nating hirap o kailangan ng tulong. Kadalasang inadaanan na namin ang mga problema sa ngiti. No? Problema lang yan, hindi tayo bibigyan ng problema kahit hindi natin kayang lutasin. And lastly, imbis na malungkot, patuloy kami na lumalaban at umaharap ng solusyon para sa muling pagbangon. So this how our Filipinos cope up with disasters. We rationalize negative situations in a more acceptable manner or way. Okay? But before I end my presentation, okay, just to give you my thoughts in Filipino resiliency. Okay? Palagi natin ginagamit ang salitang katatagan. Okay? Katatagan ng Pinoy pagkatapos ng sakuna or unos. Okay? Sa mga daang taon, tinamahan tayo ng malalakas na bagyo, niyanig ng malalakas na lindol, nagkaroon ng pagsabog ng bulkan, at nagkaroon ng pandemya. Yung mahirap ang higit sa lahat ng tinamahan ng lahat ng ito sa nalululang gobyerno, okay, or overwhelmed government. Sa gitna ng mga sakuna at pandemya, maraming Pinoy ang namatay at bilyon-bilyon ang nasira sa ating infrastruktura. Ang tanong ko ay, matatag ba talaga tayong mga Pinoy? O nagiging dahilan ito dahil di gumagalaw ang gobyerno natin? Okay? My question is, are we Filipinos really resilient, or it's just becoming an excuse for government inactions? In truth, diba? Sa totoo lang, ang pagiging matatag natin ay resulta ng nesisidad We have to, no? Because we cannot depend on others. Okay? So the uncertainty, no, of the future forces the unprivileged, yung mahirap to make to do with what they have. They stop grieving. Okay? They stop grieving, picking themselves up to restart a life that they have to live times over and over again. So walang puwang ang kulungkutan. Kailangang tumayo at mag-umpisa ng panibagong buhay paulit-ulit. Kung ninakaw ng lahat sa iyo, ano pang magagawa mo? You have to find the good in the mess. Okay? Kailangan nating hanapin kung ano yung mabuti sa magulo. Diba? We are ranked as one of the happiest people on earth, and that's very, very connected. Why we are very, very resilient. If you're not happy person, it's very hard to be resilient. No? As mentioned a while ago. Diba? Itong pandemya at ang epekto ng giyera sa gitna ng Ukraine at Russia na unti-unti na nating nararamdaman dahil sa pagtaas ng gasolina, gatong, susunod dyan ang presyo ng mga pangunahing bilihin, ay susubok ulit sa pagiging pagkatatag natin on how resilient are we Filipinos. Diba? So, election is fast approaching. Yung iba sa inyo is voting age. Yung iba, you need to reason out with your parents kung sino yung maayos na ibuboto. The boundary between resiliency and inactions is hard to determine. It is very, very thin line separating resiliency and inactions. So my last question is, where will you draw the line? Diba? Hasta san uta, no? Mantos. Diba? So, again, okay, it's very, very reasonable during this election. Okay? Okay. Then lastly, we'll leave you this. You know, the human, social, cultural, and economic costs of disasters have already been enormous. When you're hit by disasters, the effect is very, very devastating. By reducing the risk today, we can help prevent tragedy in the future. All right. So they will end this talk. Thank you. And hopefully, you'll learn a thing or two with this discussion. All right.